As it has just been said that the human seed attracts energy resources from the universe wirelessly through the brain, for this we have to understand that there is a lot of energy available in our universe. Along with this, we have to understand the greatest illusion of science, which is in the context of the universe. Let us understand it through this slide. A classical equation of science is E equal to mc square, that is energy equal to mass into square of speed of light. This equation gives the magnitude of the energy contained in the matter. According to this equation, 1 kilogram of any kind of matter contains equivalent energy of about 2630 million liters of petrol. Simply put, it can be understood in this way that on fission of all the atoms of 1 kilogram of any kind of matter, energy equivalent to 2630 million liters of petrol is released. In this much quantity of petrol, a jet plane can go up to the sun and come back to Earth again. But this energy contained in the matter cannot be used. This energy is the amount of pure energy available in nature, which is used to make 1 kilogram of matter. In this way we can understand that there is abundant energy available in the various matter available in the form of solid, liquid and gas in the universe. It is also a surprising fact that all the matter visible in the form of trillions of stars and planets is only 5% of the total energy of the universe. According to the discoveries of scientists, the remaining 95% of the energy is expanded in the universe in the form of mysterious invisible dark matter and dark energy. In the spiritual context, this mysterious invisible energy is the life energy, which is explained further. From this we can infer that there is a tremendous amount of energy available in the universe. In this A equal to mc square equation, c represents the speed of light. Time is defined by the speed of light in the universe. Reference to this equation comes many times in the discoveries of the universe. Based on a hypothetical assumption, this equation was formulated almost a century ago. According to the discoveries of that time, this equation was theoretically correct, but at present, some error is being felt in this equation. In order to rationalize this equation in the context of new discoveries in the universe, we need to correct the hypothetical assumption that is not being noticed by scientists. Due to this hypothetical error, there is a peculiar illusion of space-time being a curve, whereas in reality nothing like the curve of space and time is possible. Let us understand it in detail. In ancient times, when science was not much developed, it was believed that the Earth is stationary and all the sun, planets, stars, etc. revolve around the Earth. But later scientific discoveries revealed that the sun is stationary and the Earth revolves around it. Then at the beginning of the 20th century, the concept of the A equal to mc square equation was propounded, which is prevalent till date. But in the present time some error is being felt in this equation. When this equation was formulated in 1905, scientists had assumed that light travels in a straight line, and this belief is still intact. In the context of this equation, the hypothetical notion of light traveling in a straight line is a fundamental error. On the basis of the vastness and dynamics of the universe, scientists have to understand that light moves in a spiral curve line according to the path and speed of the planets and stars. If scientists can understand the movement of light in a spiral curve line, then there will be no need for the strange hypothesis of space-time curve fabric. In the 20th century, after the A equal to mc square equation was propounded, new discoveries revealed that the solar system also revolves around the galaxy center and the galaxy system revolves around the cosmic center. In scientific discoveries, it was found that the Earth revolves around the Sun at a speed of about 110,000 km per hour. The solar system revolves around the center of the galaxy at a speed of about 830,000 km per hour. The galaxy system revolves around the center of the universe at a speed of about 2,100,000 km per hour. Due to the combined effect of all these motions, the Earth is moving in the universe at a cosmic speed of about 3,040,000 km per hour, that is 850 km per second. Even lepton subatomic particles revolve inside a small atom at a speed of about 3 times more, that is about 2,500 km per second. In this way we can understand that the whole universe is constantly moving at a tremendous speed with immense energy. Due to such a high speed, light also moves in a spiral curve line. The light rays from the sun takes about 500 seconds to reach the Earth at a speed of 300,000 km per second. In these 500 seconds, the Earth moves away about 425,000 km at a cosmic speed of 850 km per second. In such a situation, the light rays reach the Earth, turning in a spiral curve line of 425,000 km displacement between the Sun and the Earth. This displacement of light rays occurs due to the effect of dark matter and dark energy, which we will understand later. Let us understand this same phenomenon with another example also. In 1977, two Voyager rockets were launched from Earth to go out of the solar system. According to their launch speed, these rockets have gone about 19 billion kilometers away from Earth in the last 44 years, that is in 2021. For this distance, their telemetry signals traveling at the speed of light should travel in about 18 hours one way. In 44 years, the Earth and the solar system have traveled about 1,180 billion kilometers at a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second. If the Voyager rockets had proceeded according to the position of the Earth in 1977, they would have been more than 1,180 billion kilometers away from the Earth today. At such a distance, it would have taken about 1,100 hours or 45 days for their telemetry signal to reach us. But even after 44 years, Voyager rocket's telemetry signal travels one side in 21 hours according to their estimated distance with respect to the Earth. This proves that even at a distance of 19 billion kilometers from the solar system, the Voyager rockets are also moving in space with a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second, with the effect of dark matter and dark energy, keeping the relativity with the Earth. The Earth travels about 50 million kilometers at a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second even during the approximately 18 hours of the telemetry signal's movement. During this, the telemetry signals also move in a spiral curve line with a displacement of 50 million kilometers instead of running in a straight line. Due to this curved displacement, it actually takes 21 hours for the telemetry signal to reach the Earth instead of 18 hours. This proves that due to the effect of dark matter and dark energy, telemetry signals also move in space with a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second, keeping relativity with the Earth. This proves that telemetry signals, light rays, etc., move in a spiral curve line. It is because of the flawed hypothetical notion that light travels in a straight line, scientists have to imagine an elusive space-time curve fabric. Whereas in reality there is nothing like the curve of space and time, but light moves in a spiral curve line according to the cosmic motion of the stars and planets. The Earth revolves around the Sun in a circle of 150 million kilometers. Along with this, it is moving in space at a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second. Satellites launched from the Earth also revolve around the Sun, making a uniform relative distance from the Earth due to gravity. Along with all of them are also moving in space at a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second. Since Voyager rockets were also launched from Earth and their relative distance from Earth remains the same. This proves that Voyager rockets are also moving in space at a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second, revolving in a circle of 150 million kilometers like the Earth. At a distance of 19 billion kilometers from the Earth, the effect of Earth's gravity will be negligible. In such a situation, it is proved that Voyager rockets and their telemetry signals are moving in a spiral curve line at a cosmic speed of 850 kilometers per second due to the effect of dark matter and dark energy. All this proves that light and other rays move in a spiral curve line. Scientists will have to accept the reality of light moving in a spiral curve line in the future. Due to this change, there is a possibility of radical changes in many theories of science. Space scientists continue to search for distant stars, planets, etc. While searching for stars and planets, they also prepare their location map. In many cases related to the discovery of the universe, we often imagine ourselves to be stationary and find the position of other objects relative to our stationary state. But space scientists have to understand that our universe was not like the present in the past, nor is it going to be like the present in the future, because the universe is constantly moving. All other stars and planets in the universe and our Earth and Sun are all moving. All stars, planets, galaxies, etc. are millions of light years away. For this reason, we feel that they are stable. Evolution period of our galaxy is about 14 billion years old and our experience of seeing the universe from the point of view of science is about 1000 years. Compared to such a huge evolution, it is very difficult to understand the strangeness of the moving universe based on the current information of a few years. The M87 black hole was discovered in 2019. It is 55 million light-years away. The image of the black hole that has just been received is actually a phenomenon of 55 million years ago, because its light has now reached us. Due to the continuous movement of the universe, in 55 million years the M87 black hole would have moved far from its present image position towards an unknown direction. And more, during the last 55 million years, the Big Bang would have happened in that black hole and its galaxy, stars, planets, etc. would have also been formed. Additionally, due to the light moving in the spiral curve line during 55 million years, the information obtained at present in the M87 black hole cannot be said to be accurate. In fact, it is impossible to predict the current position of distant stars with the help of scientific instruments due to the continuous movement of the universe and traveling of light in spiral curve lines. This is something like that at some particular time we mark down the current location of the human beings moving here and there on the map, but shortly after that the location of those humans is going to change. The current location of humans may easily be found, but it is impossible to know the current location of stars and planets millions of light years away. Because it takes millions of years for the light coming from distant stars to reach us. Meanwhile, that star has gone far away from its visible position. Any stars, planets, galaxies, etc. that we see in our sky, according to their distance, are the image of their past, whose light reaches us in our present. That means, we are seeing images of their different past together in our present. Along with this variation of time, they are not all stationary either. Because of this, the time their light reaches us, at the same time, they go away from their place in some unknown direction. Just like the position of the sun that we see in the daytime is actually the image of about 500 seconds ago, because the sunlight comes to the earth in about 500 seconds. When looking at the sun, the actual position of the sun is there, where the sun will appear to us after 500 seconds. Thus in the present time we get information about the past of the universe, and the universe visible at this present time goes into some unknown position in the future. That is why in the spiritual context it is said that this world is a hallucination. Because of this strangeness of the infinite and moving universe, it is meaningless to spend much labor and money on the discoveries of the universe. Ultimately, the pursuit of spiritual knowledge and science aims to do good to humanity. By revealing the mysteries of the universe through this presentation and book, the importance of seed DNA in the functioning of the brain is being told through spiritual success science. Save seed is the only divine law for the success of a human. If a tiny part of this labor and money is spent on educating humans about save seed, then health and wealth-rich prosperity can be easily brought into our world. Because seed is the only gateway through which any human being can get health, wealth and emotional bliss from the immense energy of the universe. To understand the DNA of the seed and the wireless functioning of the brain, we must first understand the process of evolution of matter and life in the universe. Matter and life in the universe begins from the void of a black hole. Now we will know about the creator of the universe, that is, black hole. Black holes have remained an unexplained puzzle in the science community for nearly 100 years. On the basis of the discoveries of almost a century, many scientists have now started to realize that our universe and our lives are being controlled by some invisible power. Whereas different interpretations of God are already described in ancient spiritual scriptures. Through this slide, we will get information about the big questions of spirituality and science, like, what is God or singularity? What is consciousness? What is inside a black hole? Etc. To understand black holes properly, let us start with the former galaxy. Billions of years ago, the former galaxy was present in place of our present galaxy. In the context of living beings, we know about life and death, but in the context of the universe also in matter, planets, stars, galaxies, etc., the sequence of life and death continues continuously. About 14 billion years ago, when end time of the former galaxy reached, life and matter in the galaxy end through a holocaust. In this holocaust process, the entire galaxy turns into a black hole. To know and understand this black hole, scientists have been making many discoveries for almost a century. But till now no exact answer has been found. In contrast, many mysteries are getting deepened in the context of the universe and black holes. It is a fact of common sense that if an event occurs in the right sequence of A, B and C, then its reverse sequence will be C, B and A. Apart from this, there can be no other reverse sequence. But in the absence of correct information in the context of black holes, different types of event sequence are told by scientists for right and reverse sequence. First, let us understand the right event sequence. Scientists, through their discoveries, have precisely defined the right event sequence of the formation of the universe from a black hole, which is told in 3 stages. During the first phase of Planck epoch, the Big Bang explosion occurs in the black hole and a unified energy comes out of the black hole. Then during the second phase of Grand Unification epoch, 3 different types of energies split from one unified energy. In this way, a total of 4 types of forces or energies are formed. Then in the third phase of particle epoch, these 4 types of forces form the atom, particles and the matter of the universe. This right event sequence is perfect and correct. But scientists are not yet able to define the unified energy consisting of all 4 forces of Planck epoch, so this right event sequence is not being considered at all. In fact, it is not possible to define a black hole by science because there is no matter inside a black hole. The main basis of science is atoms or matter, which are formed in the third phase of the Big Bang explosion, the particle epoch. Due to this anomaly, the reverse event sequence of the formation of a black hole from the universe is told in a very strange way by scientific facts based on matter. While scientifically explaining the formation of a black hole from a galaxy in reverse event sequence, it is often said that space-time curves after the event horizon in a black hole. Due to infinite gravity, the density of the matter going into the black hole becomes infinite, and after the event horizon, even light does not come out of it. Firstly, the hypothesis of having a space-time curve fabric is just a theoretical concept, which is hypothesized to explain scientific theories. As we understood in the previous slide, light moves in a spiral curve line in the universe, whereas in the scientific concept we have assumed that light moves in a straight line. Hence there is an illusion of space and time being a curve. In reality, nothing like the curve of space and time is possible. In the scientific explanation of black holes, words like event or time, light, gravity, density, matter, etc., whose reference is possible only if matter exists. There is also no imaginary matter with infinite density inside the black hole, because the particles, atoms and matter are formed only during the third phase of particle epoch after inflation in the black hole. Most scientists consider the black hole visible as an accretion disk to be a real black hole, which is not correct. What is visible through a telescope as an accretion disk in space is a virtual black hole. In fact, during the process of formation of a black hole, all the atoms of matter are fragmented by antimatter. Due to the fragmentation of atoms, the matter gradually vanishes and the pure energy of the atoms gets collected at the center of the black hole. As long as the fission process of atoms continues, a virtual black hole appears as an accretion disk due to the light and energy generated by the friction of remaining atoms and molecules. As soon as all the atoms of the matter are fragmented, the pure energy of the entire galaxy is collected at the center of the black hole and becomes almost zero. When the matter is exhausted, the light and energy of the accretion disk also ends and the black hole is not visible. When the entire pure energy of the galaxy's life and matter converges at near 0 point in space, a real black hole is formed, which is impossible to see through any scientific instrument. A few years ago, scientists experienced something similar during the study of galaxy Able 2261 in 2018, when the supermassive black hole Able 2261, located 2.7 billion light-years away, suddenly disappeared from its place. This may have been due to the formation of a real black hole, when all the matter and antimatter of the galaxy is exhausted in the form of pure energy to become a zero-sized real black hole. Scientists have proved through their discoveries that the black hole in the center of our galaxy 13.8 billion years ago, in which the Big Bang explosion took place and our galaxy was formed, the actual size of that black hole was 10 to power minus 35 meters. Simply think of it as the tip of a needle can hold trillions of real black holes. Black holes are the biggest question mark for cosmologists at present. It is a matter of wonder and amazement as to what happens in this nearly zero-sized black hole singularity, from which such a massive galaxy is formed and then life begins on Earth. To understand black hole singularity, we have to keep in mind this important scientific discovery that subatomic particles, atoms and matter are formed in the third phase of the Big Bang explosion, that is, the particle epoch. It is clear from this that there is no matter like atoms or matter inside the black hole or in the first phase of Planck epoch or in second phase of grand unification epoch. This proves that there are non-matter components inside a black hole. Since matter is formed in the third phase of the particle epoch, we have to ignore atoms and matter to understand the non-matter components of a black hole. Let us now understand the non-matter components of a black hole in an easy way. Despite the many anomalies on black holes, scientists are in complete agreement that our galaxy began with a black hole singularity and that the galaxy evolved in three phases according to the events described above. While scientists have been trying for over a century to unravel the mysteries of black holes and the universe, age-old spiritual scripture, Srimad Bhagavad Puran, chronologically describes the beginning of creation, origin of atom, matter, Adam, and evolution of life. The initial evolution of the universe described in the spiritual scripture, Srimad Bhagavad Puran, is according to the development of the three phases described by the scientists, in which a unified energy comes out from the black hole in the first phase. Then in the second phase, three more different types of energy emerge from one unified energy. In this way, a total of 4 types of forces or energies are formed. Then in the third phase, the atom particles, atoms and matter of the universe are formed. In spiritual texts, this one unified energy is called one God, which scientists call the singularity. In this, the black hole has been described as Krishna Vivar and our galaxy, that is Sagittarius A, Milky Way, has been described as Dhanu Akash Ganga, Kshirshagar. In spiritual texts, the abode of God is mentioned in Kshirshagar. Kshirshagar means the ocean of milk. On the basis of the ocean of milk, the galaxy is called the Milky Way. Knowledge of spiritual texts is often overlooked due to discrepancies in language, location and time. Today, the biggest question in front of spirituality and science is what happens in the black hole after all? After all, what is God or singularity? In this presentation, analyzing the events described in spiritual texts on a scientific basis, the origin of matter and life from the black hole singularity of God in the universe has been described sequentially. And on the basis of this analysis, the importance of seeds in human life has been propounded. Many discoveries have been made by scientists for almost 100 years to understand black holes, but they are not getting success. There is a proverb that what you are looking for is right under your nose. The same thing applies in the case of black holes. Scientists have proved that matter and life have evolved in the universe from the black hole singularity, that is, the same singularity is in all matter and life. Despite the discoveries going on for almost a century, when the information of a remotely located black hole is not being found scientifically. In this situation, we can easily understand the black hole singularity through our own life, because the same singularity is also inside us. Before understanding our life, we understand the working of computers or mobile phones, which we humans have invented. We humans also work with the same methodology by which black hole singularity works, and computers and mobiles developed by humans also work with the same methodology. Computers or mobiles mainly work in two parts, one hardware and the other software. If we compare the hardware of a mobile before and after installing the software, then there is not even a single atom difference in its hardware in both the situations. That is, the software does not have any physical existence, but the software itself does the work of keeping the hardware of the mobile alive. The existence of hardware without software is like a non-living matter. Similarly, when a creature dies, there is no difference of even an atom between its living body and the dead body. That is, there is some software that does the work of keeping the animal's hardware body alive, which has no physical existence. We have to understand this software of creatures which works exactly like the software of mobile. Since there is no matter in the black hole, so for now we understand about the software, ignoring the matter of mobile or hardware. The software basically works in three ways. The first type works as the operating system inside the mobile. The second type works as a network outside the mobile. And the third type, the random access memory or RAM, serves as the communication medium between the operating system and the network. Data signals for all calls, messages, websites, apps, etc. remain available at all times at all locations in the network as singularity. All these three types of software remain invisible, but even when invisible, we can feel the presence of all three types of software and understand its importance. Thus the three types of software are operating system, RAM and network. Apart from these three types of software, there is one more aspect which is most important. No software can be made without this aspect. That aspect is the cause or intention of the software. No software can be created without purpose or reason. All the three types of software can be understood in a scientific way, but the causal aspect of software cannot be understood in any scientific way. The causal aspect of mobile can be understood as per the requirement of the user. Thus the software of the mobile works in a total of 4 ways, 1 as causal aspect and 3 at execution levels. These 4 parts are invisible, but only when these 4 parts are there, the existence of the software becomes real. If a scholar defines these 4 parts as the invisible God of mobile, then we have to accept that, yes, there is an invisible God of mobile. In black holes and in the universe too, there is an invisible God working according to this same working principle. The 3 parts of which can be understood scientifically, but one causal part cannot be defined by science. We humans have invented the mobile. Therefore, like the invisible God or software of the mobile, an invisible God or software works in the universe. The various invisible components of this software of living beings are called life entity, which are non-matter units of life. The existence of life is realized through these life entities. Just as the installation of software in the non-living hardware of a mobile or robot makes it alive, similarly, due to the infusion of life entities in non-living matter, it becomes alive and the existence of life comes true. In the context of a black hole, these life entities first form the non-living matter of the universe, and then by transmitting those life entities in the matter, the existence of life comes true. This process is described in further detail. Just as the software of the mobile works as the 4 types of cause, operating system, RAM and network, similarly the software of humans or the invisible God works as the 4 life entity. Let us understand this with an example. Suppose we feel very thirsty and a glass full of water is kept somewhere around us. Drinking water quenches our thirst and gives us a bliss. Similarly, every living being wants some physical and emotional bliss in different ways at all times in his life. This sense of bliss is a non-matter invisible life entity, which does not require any space. This sense of bliss, or Anand, towards life is the first and foremost non-matter invisible life entity of the black hole singularity. This bliss life entity is equivalent to the cause of the mobile. All living beings dream through the bliss life entity, forgetting the energy for their bliss. To get this bliss, a knowledge power works inside us like an operating system software program, which tells us how to perform any task based on the available information. This is called soul. The soul tells us where the water is kept, when, how and how much to drink it, etc. This soul is also a non-matter invisible life entity, which does not require any space. This soul, or Atma, is the second non-matter invisible life entity of the black hole singularity. This soul life entity is equivalent to the operating system of the mobile. All living beings make a plan through the soul life entity to get the energy for its bliss. After getting the information and plan, we need to work, so to drink water the soul instructs the mind to work. We keep on doing the work of thinking continuously through the mind and keeping the body active. Our mind can give innumerable options to do the work of drinking water, but the soul makes the final decision for any one option according to its plan. Then the mind works through the body according to that final decision. This mind, that is our thoughts, is also a non-matter invisible life entity, which does not require any space. This mind, or man, is the third non-matter invisible life entity of the black hole singularity. This mind life entity is equivalent to the RAM of the mobile. All living beings think through the mind life entity and work to get energy according to the plan of the soul for their bliss. Then we raise the glass and drink water, which quenches our thirst and gives us bliss. Our body, glass and water are all 3 different types of matter, which are made up of countless atoms. All atoms of matter are ultimately made up of energy, which functions in different ways as various subatomic particles in their atoms. This energy is also a non-matter invisible life entity, which does not require any space. This energy, or urja, is the fourth non-matter invisible life entity of the black hole singularity. Here energy means pure energy, which is explained in further detail later. This energy life entity is equivalent to the network of the mobile. Energy life entity resides in nature as a resource. All living beings work to get the energy life entity for their bliss according to the plan of the soul through the mind. Thus, Anand or bliss, Atma or soul, Man or mind, and Urja or energy, these are the four basic non-matter invisible life entities which are inside the black hole singularity, and these four life entities are also inside us. Keep in mind here that these four life entities are made up of a single unified energy of the black hole, that is, in each life entity there are all four life entities, only their characters are different. Simply think of it as the same artist playing four different types of characters in a movie. Bliss, soul, mind and energy, these four life entities are non-matter invisible singularity units of the universe, which in themselves evolve matter and life. At the time of the Big Bang explosion in a black hole, the bliss life entity first comes out. In scientific terms, this is called the first phase of the Big Bang, the Planck epoch, which was of 10 to the power minus 43 seconds. Then after this, three life entities, soul, mind and energy, emerge out from bliss life entity. In scientific terms, this is called the second phase of the Big Bang, the grand unification epoch, which was of 10 to the power minus 36 seconds. These periods were equal to trillionth of a second. Just as we can conceive of the entire universe at once through our mind in such a short period, similarly through the mind life entity, these four life entities spread in the whole galaxy with the infinite speed of the mind during this very subtle period. In the first phase, the bliss life entity arrives, it is called the Supreme God or Ishwar. In the second phase, the three life entities, soul, mind and energy, emerge from the bliss life entity. These three gods, which emerged from the Supreme God, are collectively called Ishtri or Tri-God. The initial letters of these four life entities, Anand or bliss, Atma or soul, Man or mind, and Urja or energy, located in the black hole are A, Ma, U. Like software, bliss works at the causal level and the remaining three, soul, mind and energy, at the execution level. At the time of creation of the universe, they emerge in the order of soul, mind and energy from bliss. But after execution, it merges into bliss in its reverse order of energy, mind and soul. On merging, the sequence of initial letters becomes reverse as R, U, Ma, A. From this R, U, Ma, R, the first pranava letter, Om, of the universe is formed. At the time of Big Bang, the great pronunciation of the Om word erupts. That is why it is said that this creation was originated by the word Om. The vibration of the pranava letter Om keeps resonating all the time in space in the form of a measurable humming sound. Through scientific experiments and discoveries, this sound vibration in space has been confirmed, which is felt everywhere in space in the form of mechanical waves. Bliss, soul, mind and energy are the life entities felt individually by each being. According to spiritual texts, at the level of the universe, the divine characters and names of these life entities are as follows. Bliss life entity. Because of bliss life entity, every living being wants to find some bliss in his life. The bliss life entity is called the causal body. The character of bliss life entity is, I am the bliss, or Anandoham. The name of this bliss or Anand life entity is omnificent Vishnu or Sarveshwar Vishnu. Soul life entity. The body functioning of every living being is carried on subconsciously by the soul life entity, and the living being makes his plan of action to attain his bliss. The soul life entity is called the cosmic body. The character of soul life entity is, I am the creator, or Aham Brahmasmi. The name of this soul or Atma life entity is omniscient Brahma or Sarvagyani Brahma. Mind life entity. Every living being thinks through the mind life entity and works to get the energy according to the action plan of his soul. Mind life entity is called the subtle body. The character of mind life entity is all that is in the universe, all that is in the atom too, or Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. The name of this mind or man life entity is omnipresent Mahesh or Sarvavyapi Mahesh. Energy life entity, every living being works for his own bliss, according to the plan of the soul, to get the energy life entity through the mind. The energy life entity is called the etheric body. The character of energy life entity is, I am one, let there be many, or Ekoham Bahusyama. The name of this energy or Urja life entity is Omnipotent Lakshmi or Sarvashakti Lakshmi. In the next phase, the matter of the universe is made by these four life entities and life is evolved. During the evolution of life, gender differences arise among the creatures according to characters of these life entities, which have been explained in further detail. Within every being there is a limited power in the form of energy of the body, but there are three unlimited divine powers in the form of bliss, soul and mind. Through these three divine powers, humans can fulfill their desired dreams by getting unlimited energy from the universe. Seeds are produced from the limited energy of the body by the bliss, soul and mind to make these dreams come true. In the DNA of those seeds the bliss, soul, mind and energy of humans work as a singularity, and from the singularity of cosmic bliss, cosmic soul, cosmic mind and cosmic energy obtain the desired energy resources to realize their dreams. The process of development and working of atom or matter and atom or seed by these four life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy in the form of God is being explained further. These four divine characters are felt by each being in the form of bliss, soul, mind and energy respectively. That is why it is said that there is God in every particle of the universe and God is inside every living being of the universe. Further in this presentation, these divine characters are mentioned in the form of bliss, soul, mind and energy life entities which all plants, animals and human beings feel within themselves. The bliss, soul, mind and energy of God in the form of Om, these four life entities are jointly called life energy or consciousness. Thus singularity, life energy, consciousness etc. are all different names of the same God who acts according to the four characters of bliss, soul, mind and energy. Since the four life entities emerge from one life energy in the form of God, therefore all four characters have all the four life entities, but they mainly act differently according to their characters. Thus, inside the black hole or Krishna Vivar, there is a life energy in the form of the combined Pranava letter, Om. These four life entities are R for Anand or bliss, U for Urja or energy, Ma for Man or mind, R for Atma or soul. In fact, there are only three units in this infinite universe are present. The first entity, the infinite divine life energy. The second unit is infinite empty or blank space, and the third unit, infinite undefined or blank time. This life energy works in infinite groups in infinite space. In infinite space, multi-universes or multiverses are formed by infinite groups of life energies. This divine life energy works in the form of its four life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy. The entire visible universe is the manifestation of this divine life energy. All plants, creatures and human beings feel this invisible life energy inside themselves. Sometimes this life energy gets collected in the void of the black hole and sometimes it gets extended into the vast space in the form of a galaxy. When this life energy is integrated in the form of a zero-size black hole, then in the infinite blank space outside the black hole, the energy becomes zero and infinite undefined blank time continues in the infinite blank space as usual. The life energy integrated in the form of Om inside the black hole is called God in the spiritual context and the singularity in the scientific context. When this life energy comes out of the black hole in two phases, it pervades the entire galaxy in the form of the four life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy. These four life entities pervading the galaxy are collectively called life energy or consciousness. In reality, all matter and all life in our galaxy is under the control of God or the singularity, because the entire universe is created by that singularity. This is the reason that according to the divine decision and program, at the time of Holocaust, all the atoms of matter in the universe get fragmented and its self-controlled life energy gets collected in the form of a black hole in the void. At the time of Big Bang, these four life entities spread in two phases in the whole galaxy. Through scientific instruments, the presence of these four life entities is being felt in the form of the Higgs field, antimatter, dark matter and dark energy respectively. Since these life entities are invisible and non-matter in nature, it is not possible to reach them through scientific instruments. The character of these four life entities is equivalent to that of the computer software's cores, operating system, RAM and network respectively. In the spiritual context, the divine software in the form of non-matter life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy of life energy has created the entire universe. In this way, the character of the entire universe is virtual. That is why it is said that the whole universe is an illusion. These four life entities are spread everywhere in the entire universe in the form of life energy singularity. In the form of God, there are infinite powers of divine life energy. The formless form of God is beyond all definitions of knowledge and science. Nevertheless, if you want to understand the divine character inside a black hole in a scientific way, then you can understand it in this way. At the time of the Big Bang, the size of our galaxy's black hole singularity was 10 to power minus 35 meters. This size is almost zero. In this zero-sized black hole singularity, life energy resides in the form of a unified point energy, G1. Just as matter is made up of many atoms, similarly this unified point energy, G1, of black hole singularity is made up of many zero-point energies or ZPE. At the time of traditional science, it was believed that there is some invisible medium in the whole universe in the form of ether. In the quantum physics of modern science, this ether is understood as zero-point energy. Thus the unified point energy, G1, of the black hole singularity contains the zero-point energy of the entire galaxy. According to the estimates of scientists, 5% of the total energy in this galaxy is in the form of matter, 27% dark matter and 68% in the form of dark energy. Thus 5% of the matter in the universe is visible and the remaining 95% is invisible. The antimatter that controls visible matter is also invisible. In this way, the visible matter of the galaxy will have 5% ZPE, dark matter will have 27% ZPE and dark energy will have 68% ZPE. The Higgs field has an infinite effect on all these visible and invisible parts of the galaxy. This Higgs field is bliss life entity, this antimatter is soul life entity, this dark matter is mind life entity and this dark energy is energy life entity. When the Big Bang occurs in a black hole, the life energy splits into the four life entities, bliss, soul, mind and energy. This life energy expands in the shape of the galaxy. Atoms are created by life energy. To create an atom, the zero-point energy spins like a Sudarshan chakra and emits its energy outwards. Bosons are formed by rotating in this way. By emitting energy outward, neutrons, protons and leptons are formed respectively. The bosons, neutrons, protons and leptons, respectively, form the fundamental structure of the atom by the life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy. But the detailed structure of the atom is the same as that of the entire galaxy. Just as the boson of the atom rotates like the Sudarshan chakra, in the same way the galaxy formed from the atom also rotates like the Sudarshan chakra. That is why it is said that Yatha Brahman Tatha Pinde means whatever is in this universe, all that is also in one pind or atom. The amount of space the atom's leptons occupy while revolving is proportional to the energy in that atom. On the basis of this energy, space and time, the energy equation E equal to mc square has been propounded. Gravity or centripetal force is created by the rotating boson pulling its expanded energy back towards itself, and radiation or centrifugal force is formed when the expanded energy is released outwards. The subtlest manifestation of the invisible life energy is in the form of atom. Light is produced from the energy of the atom. Atoms and light define both the galaxy's blank space and blank time. The smallest unit of both space and time is atom. In the context of space, space is defined as the galaxy by the atoms, and in the context of time, time is defined as seconds by the light generated by the energy of the atom. This is explained further. This life energy resides in its gigantic size in the form of galaxy and remains in its subtle size in the form of atoms. According to the concept of Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, as given in the spiritual texts, what is in the gigantic galaxy of the universe, the same is also in all the subtle atoms. That is, each atom is a subtle form of a galaxy. Just as a matter is made up of many atoms, in the same way all the atoms get converted into a subtle black hole or zero-point energy during the Holocaust. Then due to the union of many subtle black holes or zero-point energy, the main black hole or unified point energy is formed. During the Big Bang, the main black hole again splits into many subtle black holes or zero-point energy. Then many subtle black holes form atoms in the form of many subtle galaxies. Then the main black hole combines these many atoms to form the main gigantic galaxy, similar to the subtle galaxy. Thus, according to the concept of Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, all that is in the universe, all that is in the atom too. The 330 million gods and goddesses mentioned in spiritual texts are in the form of 330 million subatomic particles in the atom. From this atom the existence of life comes true in the next stage, that is why 330 million gods and goddesses have been said to reside in the body of all the creatures too. Galaxy is formed from this atom. In addition to matter, the same life energy also pervades everywhere in the form of consciousness in all the empty space of the galaxy. The particle epoch of the third phase of the Big Bang was about 400,000 years. In the particle epoch, different types of particles are created by the four non-matter life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy. Mainly the soul, mind and energy life entities are active to form the particles and the bliss life entity is almost inactive. That's why the boson of the atom has zero charge. Atoms are made by these particles. Different elements or matter are formed by different types of combinations of atoms. Billions of trillions of stars and planets etc. are made by these matter. Our galaxy has existed with these stars and planets for about 13.8 billion years. The diameter of the galaxy, revolving like the Sudarshan Chakra, is about 100,000 light years and the thickness is about 1,000 light years. Our solar system is located about 28,000 light years away from the center of the galaxy. Our solar system revolves around the center of the galaxy in about 300 million years, which is called Manvantara. Together with our solar system, the galaxy makes a revolution of the center of the universe in about 4,320 million years, which is called Kalp. This time cycle of the universe has been mentioned in detail in the spiritual texts, a brief description of which is given in the book. Our solar system was formed about 4.5 billion years ago in our galaxy. Then our Earth was formed 4.4 billion years ago. After the formation of the Earth, life originated through the life entities of bliss, soul, mind and energy of the life energy of God. The bliss life entity also becomes active in the atom of matter to originate life. For the origin of life, atom or seed is formed when the life energy-like software is installed on the hardware of the atom. Life begins through the atom means seed and the seed evolves progressively, so it can be called the seed epoch in the context of life on Earth. After the origin of atom or seed through life energy, plants, creatures and humans evolved respectively. Then humans invented computers, mobile, robot, etc., which work on the basis of cause, operating system, random access memory and network. Here we understood the bliss, soul, mind and energy singularity of a black hole on the basis of cause, operating system, random access memory and network of the mobile. In fact, this singularity works only according to the software of the mobile. That is why we humans were able to invent the computer, mobile, robot, etc. God or the singularity works in a symmetry throughout the universe, from black holes to mobiles. Thus this journey of life energy comes from the black hole to the seed. This life energy pervades all the empty spaces of the universe, in all the atoms of matter, in all the atom or seeds of the living beings, in all the plants, creatures and humans in the form of singularity. Just as the infinite universe comes into existence from a void black hole through this life energy, in the same way humans can create the world they want for themselves through seeds made of this life energy. Scientists already have enough information about galaxy formation from atoms and matter, then the origin of our solar system and the evolution of life on Earth. But the mystery still remains about the origin of matter and life from the black hole. Now this secret is being revealed through this presentation. Next, we will understand the process of origin of matter and the origin of life in 2 slides. Through the first slide, we will understand the formation of atoms from life energy in the particle epoch, and then through the second slide, we will understand the process of the origin of the seed from the atom in the seed epoch. Here these procedures are being told in brief, you can read in more detail from the book. In the context of science, the main basis of matter means atom and the main basis of life Adam means humans. Both seem to be English words. But both these words have originated from the combination of spiritual words Atma and Anand with Pranava letter, Om. The word atom is formed from the combination of Atma and Om, and the word Adam is formed from the combination of Anand and Om. It is a great irony that the origin of the atom, which is the base of science, is related to the Atma described in spirituality, but today spirituality and science are walking on different paths. Spirituality means the study of the spirit or study of the soul. In terms of life, the soul is equivalent to the operating system of the software. Just as the mobile operating system works in the background, in the same way the soul continues to work in the form of the subconscious mind in all living beings. In fact, spirituality is a complete knowledge because when creatures and ape men were transforming into human beings in the course of evolution of life on Earth, at that time humans had no knowledge of science. Then naturally the flow of knowledge in the mind of a human being used to be from inside themselves to the outside world. Due to the effect of singularity, the information of the entire universe is naturally contained within a single organism. Under the influence of singularity, many spiritual texts were written explaining the inner knowledge of self-realization that the ancient sages had. Therefore, spirituality is a complete knowledge due to the flow from inside the body to the outside. Though some misunderstanding and confusion in the texts are there, in the world's oldest spiritual texts, all information about the creation, nourishment and destruction of atoms, black hole, space, matter and life, etc. is present. But the interpretation and analysis of spiritual texts could not be understood properly due to different locations, languages and descents. For this reason, spiritual texts were not given much importance by the science community. On the other hand, science is a partial knowledge because the flow of science in the mind of human beings is from the whole universe to the inside of the body. At present, scientists have incomplete information about the infinite universe and the information about life inside the body is also incomplete. In this situation, it is impossible to know everything on the basis of science alone. Today, despite having theory of singularity a 1, theory of nothingness a 0 and theory of everything or infinite, science has a long list of unsolved mysteries. So far, scientists have not been able to properly understand the wireless working of the genetic code of the seed DNA in the brain. Science has no information about life energy in the context of life. In this presentation, factual information has been given by analyzing spiritual and scientific facts and arguments about seed DNA. On the basis of this analysis of seed DNA, spirituality and science have to come on one platform. Understanding the importance of the seed, all the people of the world have to follow the save seed so that the well-being of the world can be done in the true sense. The bigger our universe is, the more its unknown secrets are. In the spiritual context, it is said, Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, means, all that is in the universe, all that is in the atom too. In other words, an atom is like a whole galaxy. Whatever we see in the form of matter in the entire universe, it is all made up of atoms. That is, the atom is the subtlest unit of matter. As scientific discoveries about the atom are coming to the fore, the mystery of the atom is getting deeper. In this slide we will understand the process of origin of atoms by invisible life energy. Matter is formed from this atom in the universe. Through this process we will understand the big question of science regarding unknown mysteries of the universe along with atom particles or particle zoo. After the Big Bang in the black hole, the four life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy of life energy in the form of God emerged throughout the universe in the first phase of Planck epoch and the second phase of Grand Unification epoch. After this, from these life entities in the third phase particle epoch, during 400,000 years, atom particles and matter of the universe are formed. Since the basis of science is the visible atom and the formation of the atom takes place in the third phase particle epoch of the Big Bang. Therefore the limit of science starts from the third phase particle epoch. Since the atom particles created by life energy work according to a certain program, so atoms and matter can be defined by the laws of science. But in the situation before the particle epoch, no law of current science applied on black holes and divine life energy. In this slide we will understand this process of making atoms and matter by the life energy of black holes. To understand this, we have to understand the divine life energy more deeply. To understand what this life energy is and how it works, let us imagine ourselves. As we understood from the example of drinking water in the previous slide, beings need energy for his bliss. To get this energy, beings make a program through the soul, then according to this program, tries to get the energy with the help of his mind. In this way we in the living state control the energy of our body through our bliss, soul and mind. In this way we can move or stop our body or energy in any direction through our bliss, soul and mind. We already know that when the atoms of matter are fissioned, energy is released from it and the matter is completely destroyed. The energy released from atoms is a kind of force which can be collected in the form of pure energy at a zero place. When the atoms are fissioned, the pure energy does not require any space because the matter itself is completely exhausted. Now imagine that scientists have invented such a machine, in which we feel like a living state even after the atoms of our body are fissioned. Imagine that by that imaginary machine we fission the atoms of our body and collect all the energy released from the atoms of the body in a void place. Our bliss, soul and mind will also be there in the pure energy of our body collected at this void place, and we will feel alive through these four life entities. Just as in the living state we control the energy of our body through our bliss, soul and mind, similarly in that imaginary living state without a body we can control the pure energy of our formless body through our bliss, soul and mind. Just like the state of our visible living body, we can move or stop our pure energy through our bliss, soul and mind of the formless body. This combined form of bliss, soul, mind and energy is the life energy, and this is the formless form of God within us. In the spiritual context, this formless body condition is called the subtle body, in which the bliss, soul, mind and energy of humans transforms into a void and can experience life similar to the life as it can experience when the body exists. This life energy of the body is controlled by the higher dimensions of pranayama. By attaining control over the life energy by the sages and spiritual gurus, works of world welfare are done in the state of the subtle body. A brief introduction of the subtle body is explained in the book. Thus we can understand that this life energy is a force of pure energy which is self-controlled by its own bliss, soul and mind. When the Holocaust of the former galaxy took place, the entire galaxy's life and matter were fissioned and vanished, and its pure energy with its bliss, soul and mind gathered at the void of a black hole. At the time of the Big Bang, the size of our galaxy's black hole singularity was 10 to power minus 35 meters in the form of unified point energy. This size of divine life energy was almost zero. The first two phases of the Big Bang were 10 to power minus 43 seconds and 10 to power minus 36 seconds, that is of almost zero duration. In the near zero duration of the Big Bang explosion, a nearly zero-sized unified point energy was spread at the infinite speed of the mind in the form of many zero-point energies throughout the galaxy. Thus, life energy is conscious and moving in the universe with the infinite movement of the mind. This life energy is available in the entire universe in the form of consciousness. A special character of life energy in the form of consciousness is singularity, as everything and everything is everywhere. This special character is like the RAM or random access memory of the computer or mobile. We can access all mobiles, computers, websites, etc. in the world at all places on the internet network. That is, there is only one network everywhere and everything is available everywhere in the network like the singularity. Network is a type of RAM only. Similarly, the temporary memory inside the computer is also RAM. The programs of operating system and app are also read by RAM. Then only the data of RAM is processed in its CPU. Similarly, the program of the operating system and app of the mobile is also in the form of RAM on its chip. Earlier data was stored in the form of a hard disk, but in modern computers data is stored in the form of SSD, a solid-state drive, which works on the basis of RAM. This character of RAM acts as everything is everywhere. Mind life entity of life energy acts as the mind of the humans. Our mind is so powerful that with our mind we can think about the whole universe at once and can achieve everything at all places with the life energy. Life energy is available with all potential in the entire universe like the internet network through its mind life entity, which is called consciousness. This life energy works as a singularity, so scientists have propounded the theory of singularity to understand it. This life energy creates everything in the universe and is available everywhere in the universe, so scientists have propounded the theory of everything to understand it. There is no matter in this invisible life energy, because this invisible life energy forms matter in the third phase particle epoch of the Big Bang. Since the laws of science are based on the concept of matter and the invisible life energy is beyond the limits of science. That's why scientists have propounded the theory of nothingness to understand it. Despite propounding many theories like theory of singularity or one, theory of nothingness or zero and theory of everything or infinite in almost a century, divine life energy could not be understood by the laws of science alone. This life energy spread throughout the universe is being felt by scientific instruments in the form of cosmic background radiation, or CBR, cosmic microwave background, or CMB, Higgs field, antimatter, dark matter and dark energy, etc. The whole universe is an expanded form of one divine life energy gathered at the black hole, so this entire universe is a unit of God. Cosmic bliss, cosmic soul, cosmic mind and cosmic energy work as an entity at the cosmic level. Similarly, at the level of matter or life also bliss, soul, mind and energy work as an entity. 4 parts of life energy are only the 4 types of one energy, whose characters are different. The character of the bliss is Anandoham, which means, I am bliss, as Sarveshwar or Omnipotent, who inspires life in the form of various bliss in all beings. In the form of cosmic bliss, this life entity controls the entire universe. The character of the soul is Aham Brahmasmi, which means, I am creator, as Sarvagyani or omniscient, which acts as knowledge in all beings. Whatever bliss the creature decides to get, the soul makes a program to get it and gives directions to the mind to work according to that program. In the form of cosmic soul, this life entity makes the program of the activities of the entire universe. The character of the mind is Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, which means all that is in the universe, all that is in the atom too, as Sarvavyapi or omnipresent, which works for all beings. It is through the mind that all beings work for their bliss to get the energy according to their soul program. In the form of cosmic mind, this life entity controls the activities of the entire universe everywhere at all times. The character of energy is Ekoham Bahushya Maha, which means, I am one, let be many, as Swarvashikti or omnipotent, which is controlled by the mind in all beings. In the form of cosmic energy, this life entity is available everywhere in the entire universe at all times in the form of resources according to the needs of all matter and life beings. Understand these 4 characters of God in the form of life energy in the broadest way. Formless cosmic bliss resolves to create the universe to enjoy life in corporeal form. The cosmic soul creates the definite program of matter and life for the creation of the universe. The cosmic mind operates the cosmic energy according to the cosmic soul program for cosmic bliss. The cosmic mind governs all the activities of the universe. Cosmic energy provides the necessary resources for the matter and life of the universe. These 4 life entities work only as a singularity or life energy. For whatever bliss a living being resolves to get the energy, the soul makes the program accordingly and the mind receives the energy according to that program. This life energy is available in abundance in the universe. According to an estimate of scientists, the total energy of the visible matter in the universe is only 5%, while the invisible life energy in the universe is about 95%. To understand the mysterious character of this invisible life energy, cosmologists have been making many discoveries for almost a century, but so far no success has been achieved. When viewed from a broader perspective, the planets and stars of our universe are made up of many types of matter, but all matter is basically made up of atoms. All kinds of elements and matter are made from different combinations of atoms. Thus our entire universe is made up of atoms. Atoms are the subtlest unit of the universe. In the spiritual context, it is said that Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, which means all that is in the universe, all that is in the atom too. In other words, the whole universe is contained in an atom. Just as planets and satellites revolve around each other in the universe, in the same way many subatomic particles inside the atom revolve around each other at a very high speed. There is no matter like matter in all the subatomic particles of the atom, rather these particles are just a force of rapidly rotating and revolving energy. We already know that to perform any action, a reaction is required. Like to walk, we have to apply force backwards from the claws. To fly the plane or rocket up, the air has to be pushed backwards. In this way, to do any action based on the matter, one has to apply reaction with the help of matter itself. But at the time of the Big Bang, there was no matter in the universe. That is, in the third phase of the particle epoch, there was no base available for the reaction of action to form an atom of matter, while many particles inside the atom spin very fast. In this situation, when self-controlled life energy exerts a force in any direction, then the opposite force is also applied due to the reaction of the action. Therefore, when life energy creates a fast rotating particle, the opposite rotating antiparticle is also created automatically. To make an invisible force a rotating force in absence of any matter, many types of force have to be applied. Therefore, for one type of particle, many types of antiparticles are formed. In the universe, these particles and antiparticles are of the size from the atoms to the entire universe. Different forces and energies are created by the clockwise and anticlockwise rotation of these particles and antiparticles. The shape of God is formless, which was a void of 10 to power minus 35 meters in size, is the unified point energy of the black hole. In that void, the divine life energy was in the form of its four life entities: bliss, soul, mind and energy. This unified point energy of almost zero size is made up of many zero-point energies. At the time of the Big Bang, all this zero-point energy at the infinite speed of the mind expands into the gigantic size of the galaxy in the two phases, that is, first phase Planck epoch of 10 to power minus 43 seconds and second phase grand unification epoch of 10 to power minus 36 seconds. The effect of bliss life entity is there in all zero-point energies. All this effect of bliss life entity is being felt by the scientists as the Higgs field. In all these zero-point energies or ZPE, 5% ZPE of soul life entity is being felt as antimatter, 27% ZPE of the mind life entity is being felt as dark matter and 68% ZPE of energy life entity is being felt as dark energy. The entire galaxy's matter is made up of 5% ZPE of antimatter. The remaining 27% ZPE of dark matter and 68% ZPE of dark energy controls 5% of the galaxy's matter. Since the size of the unified point energy itself was 10 to power minus 35 meters, that is, almost zero, the size of the countless ZPE inside the unified point energy would be much, much less than 10 to power minus 35 meters. Anyway, all these ZPE of life energy are of non-matter nature. Due to the near zero size and non-matter nature of ZPE, the Higgs field, antimatter, dark matter and dark energy cannot be captured by the scientific instruments. Through these non-matter ZPE, matter is first created from a virtual atom and then life is realized in the form of atom through the atom. These life entities of divine life energy can be reached only and only through Adam, that is, our seeds. To create an atom, the zero-point energy spins like a Sudarshan chakra and emits its energy outwards. Due to such rotation of zero-point energy, a boson particle is formed by the bliss life entity. Energy is emitted outwards due to the rotation of the boson and respectively, neutrons are formed from soul life entity, protons are formed from mind life entity and leptons are formed from energy life entity. Just as mechanical gears transfer energy by reciprocating, so the four subatomic particles rotate to form a mechanical gear-like assembly. If we consider the direction of rotation of the boson with respect to the observer as clockwise, then the direction of rotation of its next neutron particle is anticlockwise. Then the direction of rotation of its next proton particle is clockwise, and then finally the direction of rotation of the outermost lepton particle is anticlockwise. The rotation of these forces forms the centripetal force and the centrifugal force. Since all the forces originate from the zero-point energy, that is, the God particle boson, the boson pulls its energy back towards itself with the help of centripetal force. By pulling its energy back towards itself by the boson, the effect of gravity is created on the outer surface of the atom. Since the release of energy gives a feeling of bliss to the boson God particle, so the boson releases its energy with the help of centrifugal force. The release of its energy by the boson creates the effect of radiation on the outer surface of the atom. In this way, the atom interacts with energy with other atoms with the help of its gravity and radiation forces. The strong nuclear force between the boson-neutron particle, the electromagnetic force between the neutron-proton particle, and the weak nuclear force between the proton-lepton, is formed by rotating like a mechanical gear. All these particles interact with the lepton particle for energy through gravity and radiation. Since the main bliss life entity makes up the soul, mind and energy life entities, therefore, the effect of bliss is in all the particles. The boson particle of bliss life entity, the neutron particle of soul life entity and the proton particle of mind life entity are of male character, so they create three types of forces in the nucleus of the atom. Neutrons and protons work with the help of three quark particles each. The lepton particle of energy life entity is of female character, so for these three forces on the outer surface of the atom, lepton particles form three types of energy particles: electron, muon and tau. These are some of the main subatomic particles inside the atom, but in the spiritual context 330 million types of particles have been described inside the atom. The existence of the atom is realized by the various forces and energy interactions of these subatomic particles. Then many types of elements are formed from the many combinations of these atoms. Many types of matter are made from many elements. The whole galaxy is formed in the form of stars, planets, etc., by the combination of many matter, which is a huge form of one atom. Subtle atoms and gigantic galaxies are similar, the only difference is in size. The main character of the God particle boson of bliss life entity is emotion dominant, which creates the life force, and the emotional energy interacts with the energy life entity. Since the bliss life entity is inactive in the atom, the charge of the atom's boson is zero. Therefore the atom has zero life force and emotional energy. Therefore the matter made of atoms appears to be inanimate. When the bliss life entity is activated in this atom, the atom is transformed into Adam and the life force and emotional energy are activated, from which life originates. Which is explained in detail in the next slide. The four life entities of life energy, bliss, soul, mind and energy, create four types of forces and energies through these particles and antiparticles to do their work. These four forces are strong nuclear force, electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force and gravitational force. And these four energies are biochemical energy, chemical energy, electromagnetic energy and radiation energy. However, in the scientific context, there is some contradiction in considering gravitational force and radiation energy as force and energy. There is a reason behind it, because there is a fourth force and energy present in atoms and the universe which cannot be defined by any laws of science. In the second phase of Big Bang grand unification epoch, soul, mind, and energy comes out, due to their effect respectively strong nuclear force, electromagnetic force and weak nuclear force, and their equivalents are formed respectively biochemical energy, chemical energy and electromagnetic energy. These three forces combine to form a unified force, which comes out of the black hole as bliss life entity in the first phase of Planck epoch, the first phase of the Big Bang. Cosmologists have not yet been able to define this unified force of the first phase. That unified force is nothing but this life energy, which can be defined as the life force. But the life of any organism cannot be defined by any laws of science. That is why no law of science works on this one unified force of black hole, that is life force. Emotional energy works in all living beings equivalent to this life energy, which is felt by all living beings. In terms of matter and atoms, the strong nuclear force is the most intense. But in the context of life and atom, the emotional energy is most intense, which cannot be compared with any force of any non-living matter, such as parent and child relationship, love relationship with spouse, reverence for God, attachment with one's own home, etc. That is why, like the life force of life energy, the emotional energy of living beings cannot be defined by any laws of science. This life force and emotional energy is resulted from the interaction between boson of bliss life entity and leptons of energy life entity. Thus the basic purpose of the divine life energy of the black hole is to find emotional bliss in the form of life. Since the black hole singularity creates matter and life in the universe, the same singularity of bliss, soul, mind and energy extends to every atom, matter, life and space in the universe. That is why it is said that there is God in every particle and life. According to Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran 3.11.1, atoms are always present in both the dormant and manifest states. In the manifest state of the atom, it creates visible matter from the atom, while in the dormant state of the atom, invisible forces are created to operate the universe. The invisible forces in the dormant state of the atom are being felt by cosmologists in the form of Higgs field, antimatter, dark matter and dark energy, which are counterparts of bliss, soul, mind and energy respectively of life energy. For the past several decades, cosmologists all over the world have been trying to understand the Higgs field, antimatter, dark matter and dark energy. But so far they have not been defined by any scientific theory. To understand them, many experiments are being done to make matters out of it by spending a lot of money. But no success has been found in any experiment. The reason for this is that no controlled and permanent force of pure energy can be applied from space to space by the scientific instruments of any matter. In laboratories like the Large Hadron Collider or LHC of particle physics, some particles have been created by applying some force in some way, but that force is uncontrolled and temporary in nature. Along with this, due to the reaction of the action, its antiparticle also forms. The two contrasting, uncontrolled and temporary forces dissipate very quickly, as any non-living forces exerted by non-living devices cannot be continuously controlled. Whereas the life energy singularity of the universe is an animate energy, which is self-controlled by its bliss, soul and mind life entities. Matter and life originate from this life energy. Just as beings or human beings themselves control the energy of their body by their bliss, soul and mind, in the same way the singularity life energy of the universe is the self-controlled energy through its mind for its bliss as per program of soul. Therefore, scientists have to understand that it is impossible to access dark matter and dark energy through inanimate instruments of the particle collider laboratories. This Higgs field is cosmic bliss, this antimatter is the cosmic soul, this dark matter is the cosmic mind, and this dark energy is the cosmic energy. These four non-matter life entities are under the jurisdiction of God in the form of life energy. Only human seeds can catch this divine life energy, which we will understand later. Boson, neutron and proton are in the atomic nucleus, which are created by bliss, soul and mind life entity respectively. Leptons revolve around the atomic nucleus, which is created by the energy life entity. Since all the four life entities are created by one life energy, therefore the four life entities have all the four characters in a subtle amount. For this reason, all the four atomic particles of the atom have subatomic particles according to their character. In scientific context, these characters of different particles are called particle flavors. All these particles and subatomic particles are affected by the Higgs field of the God particle boson, which is formed from the most important form bliss life entity of the life energy. Neutron particles consist of up quark, charm quark and top quark particles, which are of energy, mind and soul character respectively. The proton particle consists of down quark, strange quark and bottom quark particles, which are of energy, mind and soul character respectively. The lepton particle consists of electron, muon and tau particles, which are of soul, mind and energy character respectively. All these particles and antiparticles interact with other particles under the influence of the Higgs field of the boson particle. Bliss, soul and mind life entities interact in different ways according to their character with the energy life entity. In nature, the bliss, soul and mind life entities are of male character who act as forces. Strong nuclear force, electromagnetic force and weak nuclear force are formed from these three male characters respectively. On the contrary, in nature the energy life entity is of feminine character, which works as energy. Radiation force is created by this feminine character life entity, but due to pulling it towards the center by bliss, soul and mind life entities, gravity force is created. Along with this, the mutual attraction between bliss and energy life entity creates emotional force or energy, which is necessary for the evolution of life. There are energy interactions between these life entities of opposite characters. There are 9 types of energy interactions of the 3 characters of bliss, soul and mind with the energy. For these 9 types of interactions, the 3 characters of energy life entity interact in 3 ways. In the spiritual context, these 3 forms of energy are described as Reem, Shreem, Kleem or Sata, Raj, Tam. Equivalent to the divine names of the 3 divine characters of the life energy, the 3 energy characters have the divine names Brahmani, Rama and Uma, which respectively symbolize knowledge, wealth and power. These 3 characters of energy life entity interact with the bliss, soul and mind life entities in 9 ways. In the spiritual context, these 9 types of energy interactions have been described as the 9 powers of Navdurga. The boson and neutron particles of the atom have a neutral 0 charge, the proton has a positive +1 charge, and the lepton has a negative -3 charge. According to scientific discoveries, the 3 main characters of leptons made of energy are called electron, muon and tau. In contrast to these 3 main characters, the 3 types of leptons with opposite character are electron neutrinos, muon neutrinos and tau neutrinos. In addition, scientists have theoretically hypothesized 3 other lepton neutrinos which are yet to be discovered. Thus leptons have 9 characters. These 9 characters of leptons interact with boson, neutron and proton in 9 ways. According to scientific discoveries, these 9 types of interactions of leptons have been described as the CKM matrix. These 9 types of energy particle leptons are equivalent to the Navshakti of Navdurga mentioned in spiritual texts. The energy equation E equal to mc square gives the amount of energy contained in the matter. This energy equation has been proposed relative to space-time in the universe. Boson, neutron and proton are at the center of the atom and leptons revolve around them. Leptons share energy with other particles in the center. The amount of energy in the atom is proportional to the amount of space occupied by leptons in the atom, which is measured by E equal to mc square. Various units of time measurement have been described in spiritual texts. In these units of time, a unit of time has been mentioned as an atom. The Earth revolves around the Sun by rotating on its axis. Due to this, the Sun appears to revolve around the Earth. The time it takes for the Sun to cross the subtlest particle of matter, that is an atom, is called an atom as a unit of time. In terms of time, an atom is about 8 divided by 243,000 inches second. An atom occupies some space, and the time it takes for the Sun to cross that space of the atom, that time is also called an atom. It is clear from this that the ancient sages also had a deep knowledge of space-time. It is clear from the similarity of this energy, space, time, etc., of spiritual texts and scientific discoveries that the authors of spiritual texts also had accurate information about atoms, subatomic particles and its energy interactions. Energy is transmitted in the parts of our body at the level of the quark and lepton particle of the atom. Through this energy interactions, our body remains in motion. This is explained in more detail in the form of Kundali Jagran, a DNA spiral awakening, in the slide of Spiritual Success Science. Until the 19th century, scientists knew only about neutrons, protons and electron particles inside the atom. But in the 20th century, more than 2,000 particles have been discovered inside the atom so far, and this count is increasing continuously. Due to having so many particles, scientists are now giving identification according to particle number instead of names. That is why the atom is called a particle zoo by scientists. In the year 2012, the fourth main particle boson was discovered, which is called the God particle. The 330 million gods and goddesses mentioned in spiritual texts are only about 330 million types of force particles and energy particles inside the atom. These force particles and energy particles form a solid foundation of matter by being active inside the atom in different ways. In the spiritual texts, atom has been referred as Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, which means all that is in the universe, all that is in the atom too. The meaning of this statement is that the trillions of galaxies located in our infinite universe are the exact replica of an atom, that is, each atom is like a subtle galaxy and each galaxy is like a gigantic atom. At the center of every galaxy there is a black hole. Just as the stars and planets of the entire galaxy revolve around its center due to the attraction of the black hole. Similarly, the boson God particle of the atom also produces strong nuclear force like a subtle black hole, due to which 330 million particles of the atom revolve around its center. You can read more about this in the book. In short, a total of 330 million subatomic particles along with four main particles boson, neutron, proton and lepton are created by the formless four life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy of the divine life energy, from which a complete atom created. The matter of the universe is formed by different molecules and elements made up of different combinations of these atoms. From this matter galaxies, stars, solar system, Earth etc. have been made. Thus the entire galaxy is made up of only atoms. Matter composed of visible elements is basically made up of atoms made up of only energy particles. Atom itself is a virtual particle made of life energy, which works according to the law of divine life energy from the origin of the universe till the Holocaust. That is why it is said that this universe is the illusion of God. The third phase of the Big Bang particle epoch in a black hole lasted about 400,000 years. During this, the atom and matter of the universe were created by life energy. It has been known from the discoveries of scientists that only 5% of the total energy of the universe is in the form of matter. The remaining 27% is in the form of dark matter and 68% is in the form of dark energy. This is the energy that has been estimated by scientific instruments. There is more immense energy inside the black hole, which is not possible to estimate by scientific instruments. This unknown immense energy is constantly emerging from inside the black hole. The universe is continuously expanding due to the continuous release of energy from the black hole. Even 5% of the energy available in the form of matter. So far now the existence of life is known only till our Earth. There are billions of stars and planets in our galaxy which are deserted. It is as if the divine life energy has created a huge galaxy by planning according to the needs of the future of humans. But because of the mistake of destroying our seeds, we humans are still confined to the earth only. The subtle body is controlled by save seed. By controlling the subtle body, the body is made invisible and revealed. In spiritual texts, gods and goddesses are described as traveling in real time between different planets, appearing invisible and manifest. By controlling the subtle body, a person can appear in many places at the same time. With the discoveries of quantum physics, it has now become clear that an atom can be in many places at the same time. Ordinary travel between planets by scientific rockets etc. is impossible now in the near future, because it will require immense money and many scientific discoveries along with centuries of time. But it is possible to do so by controlling the subtle body through save seed. Our universe is filled with matter as well as software character of the mysterious Higgs field antimatter, dark matter and dark energy. These are forms of the bliss, soul, mind and energy life entities of the divine life energy. In this universe there is an existence of an invisible divine power which are in the form of an invisible particles and antiparticles having size from subtle atom to the gigantic galaxy. The same invisible divine power controls our visible world. Deity Lok, Demon Lok, Heaven, Hell etc. have been mentioned in many places in spiritual texts. All these are not imaginary places but a reality of the invisible universe made up of the unmanifested or dormant particles and antiparticles of this life energy. Just as we feel the causal, operating system, random access memory and network components of the invisible software around us. In the same way, invisible components of bliss, soul, mind and energy life entities are being felt in the entire universe as Higgs field, antimatter, dark matter and dark energy respectively. Many forms of subtle bodies of software nature work in this universe for controlling the nature, who are considered as different gods and goddesses. In some fantasy movies, we see hero, villains etc. leaving their bodies and performing actions in the form of software code inside the computer. The divine sphere of action with the subtle body works in a similar way. Some information about this is given in the book. Our galaxy has existed for about 13.8 billion years. During this time our solar system came into existence about 4.6 billion years ago. Then about 4.5 billion years ago our Earth was formed. After the formation of the Earth, in the first 100 million years, the elements necessary for life on Earth like water, air, etc. were created. After the creation of the necessary conditions for life, the process of origin of life started, which we will understand in the next slide. We have enough information about the evolution of life on the basis of scientific and archaeological discoveries. But the mystery of the origin of life on our Earth still remains. Many scientists, scholars and all of us are very curious to know how life started on Earth. In this slide, we will understand the process of the origin of Adam or the origin of life through life energy. Through this process, the non-living atom is transformed into living atom, that is, seed. The singularity of the black hole, that is, the four life entities of life energy, also acts as a singularity inside the seed. Along with the mystery of the origin of life, we will also understand the secret of gender differences among living beings that occur through the four characters of life entities. It is only through this gender difference process that we will know the advantage of save seed and the disadvantage of seed loss. Simultaneously, through the seed DNA, we will understand about the divine working mechanism of life energy. Through this revelation of the origin of life, we will learn that the life journey of life energy, which makes up the entire galaxy, comes from the black hole to the seed. Just as an infinite galaxy is created by the life energy of a black hole, in the same way humans can create the world they want by the life energy of the seed. This life energy resides in the most condensed form in the DNA of our seed and does its work with the help of the brain. By saving their own seeds, humans can make their life and Earth a heaven. Most of the small rivers and streams dry up during the summer season. During the rainy season they get filled with water again. With the filling of water, fish, frogs etc. are automatically generated in them. Have you ever wondered where do those aquatics come from? It is almost impossible that after the last rain, the eggs of those aquatics remain safe even in the scorching summer season or that the eggs are rained from the sky in the rain. The secret of realizing life through divine life energy is hidden in the mysterious origin of these aquatics. Earth came into existence after separating from the Sun about 4.5 billion years ago. Then for about 100 million years the conditions necessary for the existence of life on Earth were developed. During this, many minerals and compounds were formed by the combination of different elements, due to which water, air, matter, fire, etc. came into existence on the Earth. After the development of the conditions necessary for the existence of life, life began about 4.4 billion years ago. Life began from the life cell in the form of atom through the black hole singularity life energy. The non-living atom is transformed into living atom by life energy. The main purpose of God's formless life energy is to realize its own existence in the form of life and to feel its bliss. Let us understand in detail this process of realizing life. As we understood in the previous slide, the character of the four invisible life entities, bliss, soul, mind and energy of life energy is equivalent to cause, operating system, random access memory and network respectively of the invisible software. Just as no software can be created without the user's cause or intention, and even after the software is created, the user controls and operates the software according to his cause. Similarly, among the four life entities of life energy, bliss is the predominant life entity which controls and operates the remaining three. This life energy first forms various matter in the form of atoms. The predominant bliss life entity in the atom is in the form of a boson or God particle. The Higgs field is formed by the effect of a boson or God particle. From the experiments of particle physics, it has been known that the boson particle of the atom interacts with all other particles only due to the effect of the Higgs field. This Higgs field is formed due to the principal bliss life entity of life energy. The boson in the atom is inactive and therefore its charge is zero, so the atom works as a non-living matter or hardware. The bliss life entity gets activated in the boson particle of the atom to make life come true. Due to the activation of the boson, that is, bliss in the atom, it transforms into atom. Since the atom is formed from this life energy in which bliss life entity resides in a dormant state in the form of the boson God particle, therefore it is said in the spiritual context that God is present in every particle. Because of this bliss life entity, every plant, creature and humans want to get some bliss in their life. The existence of life is realized only from Adam, that is, seed. We know that until any energy is transmitted in a machine or computer made of matter, it remains inactive as non-living hardware. For example, until petrol is filled into a car or until electricity is passed to a fan, they remain inactive. Similarly, unless software is installed in computers, mobiles, robots, etc., they will remain just like non-living inactive hardware. Computers, mobiles, robots, etc. become alive by installing software in the hardware. Exactly the same process occurs during the transformation of a non-living atom into a living atom. That is, the existence of life is realized when software like life energy is installed in the hardware of non-living matter or atoms. The four life entities of life energy are of different character. In order to realize life, these life entities choose their life elements according to their character. It is clarified here that the four life entities of life energy are invisible entities like software and their equivalent life elements are visible matter like hardware. Bliss, that is boson, chooses the nitrogen element for himself. Soul, that is neutron, chooses the oxygen element for himself. Mind, that is proton, chooses the carbon element for himself. And energy, that is lepton, chooses the hydrogen element for himself. It is not necessary here that these life entities work only at the level of their life elements. In fact, bliss life entity works in all life elements at the level of bosons. Similarly, soul life entity works in all life elements at the level of neutrons. Mind life entity works in all life elements at the level of protons, and the energy life entity works at the level of the leptons in all the life elements. Thus all the life entities work up to the subatomic particle level of all the life elements. These four elements, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen, are the main life elements in all organisms. Other elements are also present in small quantities, but their percentage is very low, so they have been ignored here. These four elements account for about 95% of their weight in all organisms. Dark energy is 68%, dark matter 27%, antimatter 5% in the universe. According to the equality of these percentages, oxygen is 65%, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen 31%, and other elements 5% in the body. According to the equality of these percentages, the amount of liquid water in the body is 65%, the amount of solids is 35%. The atomic numbers of these elements are 7, 8, 6 and 1 respectively. According to these atomic numbers in the human body, the petals of the Kundali chakras or spiral centers are there. This is further explained in detail in the slide of Spiritual Success Science. In the whole universe, the energy life entity is active in various forms, which is controlled and operated by its bliss, soul and mind life entities. Due to the transmission of bliss, soul, mind and energy life entities of the life energy in the matter, there is a gradual change in its energy state. First, the existence of the atom is realized by the subatomic particles, then the different combinations of the atom form the molecules of different elements. Then different combinations of molecules of these elements form different types of compounds and minerals. Then the communication of life energy in these elements, compounds, etc., leads to a change in the energy state and activity at the subatomic particle level of the atom. This change of energy state takes place in 4 ways according to the 4 vital elements of life energy. When energy is activated at the lepton level in the molecules of elements, electromagnetic energy is generated, such as light, sound, magnet, electric, heat, gravity, etc. For electromagnetic energy, alone energy life entity interacts. Chemical energy is produced when energy reactions occur at the proton level in the molecules of elements. For chemical energy, primarily energy and mind, both life entities participate. Biochemical energy is produced when energy reactions occur at the neutron level in the molecules of elements. For biochemical energy, primarily energy, mind and soul, 3 life entities participate. Emotional energy is generated when energy activation occurs at the boson level in the molecules of elements. For emotional energy, mind, soul and bliss, all 4 life entities participate. Life comes true only by the activation of these 4 energies. Bliss life entity causes life in the form of bliss of all living beings and it generates emotional energy. The remaining 3 energies can be defined by science, but none of the laws of science work on emotional energy. This is the reason why it is not possible for science to define the first phase Planck epoch by combining the 3 forces of the second phase grand unification epoch of black holes. Since the basis of science is atoms and matter, which are formed in the third phase particle epoch, science has its limitations in terms of life. Just as the hardware of a mobile handset is made, it cannot do any work unless the software is installed in it. After the software is installed, the software does all its work in the mobile hardware. Similarly, unless the software of life energy is installed in the physical structure made of organic elements, the creature cannot do any work. After the life energy software is installed, all its work in the physical body of the creature is done by life energy itself. In the form of software, the 4 parts of life energy are bliss, soul, mind and energy. These 4 life entities also work holistically as one life energy. Thus a combined life energy and its 4 life entities, there are a total of 5 types of prana or vital. Just as there are antiparticles of the particle in the atom, by which the atom of matter is completely fragmented. Similarly, in atom, there are 5 subpranas or sub-vital of the 5 pranas. With the help of these 5 pranas and their 5 subpranas, the body is controlled and operated during life and the body is fragmented after death. These 5 pranas are apana, saman, prana, udana, vyana and their equivalent 5 subpranas are kurma, krikal, naga, devaditta, dhananjay. You can read more information about these pranas in the book. The combination of the 4 life elements nitrogen, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen forms the necessary organic matter such as hormones, etc. for life. These hormones make life cells for the body structure of all plants and creatures. Organic matter acts as visible hardware in the physical structure of living beings. In this physical structure, the life energy works like an invisible software. In order to realize life, software is installed in organic matter like hormones made from the combination of the 4 life elements nitrogen, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen. Through the transmission of this life energy, the energy state of the atom changes in this manner. The bliss life entity interacts with the bosons of all the life elements in the form of combined life energy using primarily nitrogen life element. Due to which bliss life entity is transmitted in the life cell and emotional energy is activated. The soul life entity interacts with the neutrons of all the life elements in the form of combined life energy using primarily oxygen life element. due to which the soul life entity is transmitted in the life cell and the biochemical energy is activated. The mind life entity interacts with the protons of all the life elements in the form of combined life energy using the primarily carbon life element, due to which the mind life entity is transmitted in the life cell and chemical energy is activated. The energy life entity interacts with the leptons of all the life elements in the form of combined life energy using primarily hydrogen life element, due to which energy life entity is transmitted in the life cell and electromagnetic energy is activated. In the context of the functioning of modern computers, we already know that in any computer or mobile device, the entire work of program code communication between hardware and software is done by random access memory. The invention of the modern computer is according to the working procedure of humans themselves. As we have seen in the context of life energy inside the black hole, the four life entities are equivalent to cause, operating system, random access memory and network respectively. This same life energy is also in all living beings, therefore bliss within the creature or humans is like the cause of the mobile, soul like the operating system of the mobile, mind like the RAM of the mobile, energy like the network of the mobile. Like the RAM of a computer, all their work in the functioning of creatures is done by their mind. The human mind in the form of RAM dreams of achieving its bliss, then reads the instructions from the operating system, that is DNA of the soul, and activates the energy of the body and the universe according to those instructions. In a way, bliss dreams for the human as owner, soul makes programs for the dreams as manager, mind works for those dreams as workers and energy supplies for those dreams as resources. All this work inside the body is done automatically by the mind in the form of RAM. This process is explained in further detail in the slide of Spiritual Success Science. In the process of origin of the atom, we learn that the bliss, soul, mind and energy of the life energy form the boson, neutron, proton and lepton respectively of the atom. In these subatomic particles of the atom, the neutron is like a software program which keeps the atom balanced by keeping protons and leptons together. If the number of neutrons in an atom is changed, then the atom becomes radioactive. When the atom becomes radioactive, its protons and leptons become uncontrolled and the energy state of the atom is changed by radiation. Through this radiation process, the neutron balances the atom by re-equalizing the number of protons and leptons in the atom. The boson God particle is always in the lowest state of energy in the atom. This boson particle is formed from the bliss life entity, which remains inactive in respect to matter. Boson or bliss being in the lowest energy state, keeps the neutron or soul, proton or mind and lepton or energy in a state of equilibrium. Hence the balance in the matter is maintained. If an imbalance occurs, the neutron or soul re-equilibrates by fissioning protons and leptons according to its program. But in the context of life, to get more energy, the bliss life entity becomes active in atoms and activates the mind in the form of RAM. Then the mind attracts the cosmic energy or dark energy for its bliss according to the soul program and creates a balance of bliss in the creature. Atom is also a virtual particle made of life energy, but the boson has zero charge due to the sense of bliss being inactive. When bliss is activated in a boson, an atom that seems inanimate is transformed into a living atom. Theoretically, an atom made of life energy is also alive, but due to the void of bliss, there is no movement in it and it appears inactive. Due to the communication of life energy in the organic hormone-like compound molecule as hardware made from nitrogen, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen, the atom of the molecule is transformed into atom and the whole cell is transformed into a seed. The bliss life entity located in the boson God particle of the atoms of the hormone molecules gets activated for the transmission of life energy with the help of mind life entity. Then different subatomic particles of the atom are transformed into different parts of atom as follows. The transformation of the boson of the atom occurs in the emotion of bliss located inside the seed. Bliss life entity works at the level of the boson of an atom. Bliss interacts with energy in the form of thymine in DNA and uracil in RNA with the help of nitrogen. The transformation of the neutron of the atom takes place in the deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA of the seed. Since the neutron is at the center of the atom, therefore the DNA is produced in the nucleus or the neuroplasm of the seed. The three quark particles of the neutron change according to their character. The top quark changes into adenine, the charm quark changes into cytosine and the up quark changes into guanine. Divine bliss life entity resides in the DNA in the form of thymine. Soul life entity works at the level of the neutron of an atom. The soul interacts with energy in the form of adenine in DNA and RNA with the help of oxygen. The transformation of the proton of the atom takes place in the ribonucleic acid or RNA of the seed. Since the proton is in the center but interacts with the leptons of energy life entity outside the center with the help of weak nuclear force, messenger RNA is formed in the neuroplasm from the DNA of seed, but then interacts energy with amino acids in the cytoplasm with the help of ribosomal RNA and transfer RNA. The three quark particles of the proton change according to their character. The bottom quark changes into adenine, the strange quark changes into cytosine, and the down quark changes into guanine. Since the mind does all the work in an organism, therefore only the three quark particles of the proton-like mind get converted into messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA and transfer RNA to do their work. The human's worldly bliss in RNA resides in the form of uracil. Mind life entity works at the proton level of an atom. The mind interacts energy in the form of cytosines in DNA and RNA with the help of carbon. The transformation of the leptons of the atom takes place as amino acids of the seed. Energy life entity works at the lepton level of an atom. Energy is transmitted in the form of guanine in DNA and RNA with the help of hydrogen. It is worth noting here that the entire universe has evolved gradually from the four life entities bliss, soul, mind and energy of life energy singularity. Therefore, in the context of life also, all the parts of each evolution stage are gradually included in all the parts. Just as all cells have all DNA contains all elements have all atom particles, all subatomic particles contain all life entities. The same life energy singularity is in all the life entities. Bliss is formless in the form of the Supreme God, but he is active with the mind in order to be born on earth in the corporeal form. Since the mind itself is also active, each living entity defines its bliss according to its own personal choice. That is why the divine bliss makes the DNA of the seed with thymine and the worldly bliss makes the RNA of the seed with uracil as per the personal choice of the organism. That is why their DNA is almost the same in different types of organisms, but their RNA is individually different. It can be understood in this way, as if the DNA with thymine works like the operating system of the mobile and the RNA with uracil works like different apps according to the personal choice of the user. These four life entities together start life as a life cell. After the formation of the life cell, it will be very interesting to know how the gender difference occurs in the life cell by the singularity life energy. To understand this, take special care of the fact that the same life energy make up the bliss, soul, mind and energy life entities, therefore all four life entities have all the four life entities. The four life entities perform different functions according to their character. All the four characters want to attain bliss. The soul makes program for bliss as DNA of the seed, the mind works according to DNA program as RNA of the seed to produce fruit of the bliss, and energy provides the resources for fruit of the bliss. Let us understand the process of gender difference in the life cell by life energy on the basis of these facts. Origin of the important life cell from the focus of the mind on the bliss for bliss. In this state, the mind life entity focuses on bliss life entity for its own bliss. This gives the creature its pleasure within itself. In this state, the soul mind energy inside the creature all comes to a dormant state. By this, no seeds are formed in the body and the creature remains impotent. Origin of the asexual life cell from the focus of the mind on the soul for bliss. In this state, the mind life entity focuses on the soul life entity for its bliss. The soul or neutron is like a program which keeps the cell or atom in a balanced state by putting the mind a proton and energy a lepton together. Due to this balanced state, asexual life cells are formed. When the life cell develops its body through life energy, due to the mind and energy being in a balanced state, the cell rejoices in itself and the asexual organism comes into existence. When a seed is made by the soul in an asexual organism, the organism remains in a state of equilibrium of its bliss as its mind is focused on the soul itself. Being in a state of equilibrium, the mind and energy remain in a passive state. Therefore, asexual cells continue to be formed by the soul, but due to the inactivity of mind and energy, the cells do not grow as fruits of seeds. Asexual cells like bacteria, etc. are expanded by DNA duplication. In this state, the physical development of the beings takes place as an asexual organism. Some flora also grow as asexual cells. Origin of the male life cell from the focus of the mind on the mind for bliss. In this state, the mind-life entity focuses on the mind-life entity itself for its bliss. Being focused on the mind a proton, the cell wishes to get more energy a lepton, which keeps the life cell in an unbalanced state. In the state of imbalance due to excess of mind a proton life entity, the male life cell is formed. When the male life cell develops its body through life energy, the cell needs energy a lepton to balance in its state of bliss due to the excess of mind a proton. The female life cell is formed by energy life entity. Therefore, to come into a state of equilibrium, the male cell is naturally attracted towards the female cell. When a seed is made by soul in a male life cell, the male creature remains in an unbalanced state of its bliss due to its mind being focused on the mind itself. Due to this imbalance, the seeds made by the soul in the body of a male creature themselves try to balance between themselves by converting energy into male seed and female seed. Seeds are made by this process, but due to lack of focus on energy, no fruit is produced by the DNA of those seeds. Therefore, many mind-focused male seeds of Y chromosome and energy-focused female seeds of X chromosome are collected in the body of a male creature. According to this gender difference process of nature, millions of seeds are formed in the male's body. Nature of the soul life entity is omniscient, or I am the creator, and these millions of seeds are made by the soul. Due to the millions of seeds created by the soul life entity in male creatures, males are comparatively more wisdom conscious. Atoms have both neutrons and protons at their nucleus. The power and weight of the atom's neutrons and protons is more than the power and weight of its leptons. In this process of becoming atom from atom, soul or neutron and mind a proton form the body of a male creature. Due to these qualities of the mind a proton, the males are comparatively more powerful and heavyweight. Since the protons in the atom's nucleus rotate around its own axis and the movement of the proton takes place only inside. That is why comparatively men take a task seriously, that is, the eyes of the men remain on one task at the one time comparatively. Due to this quality of the proton or mind, most of the men are of serious nature, because they have little knowledge of the many subjects due to having an eye on one task at one time. The position of the proton in an atom is farther away from the boson and closer to the neutron. The nature of boson or bliss is emotion-oriented and the nature of neutron or soul is knowledge-oriented. That is why the nature of men made of protons is less emotional but more fact-oriented. In an atom, neutron and lepton rotate anticlockwise and protons rotate clockwise. Protons make men and leptons make women. Due to this opposite rotating nature of protons and leptons, most of the habits of men and women are of opposite nature. But the atom remains balanced only by the mutual energy interactions of protons and leptons. That is why the relationship of husband and wife creates a natural balance in life, and while other illicit relationships or sensual thoughts create imbalance in life. Origin of the female life cell from the focus of the mind on the energy for bliss. In this state, the mind life entity focuses on energy life entity for its bliss. Being focused on energy a lepton, the cell wishes to get more mind a proton, which keeps the life cell in an unbalanced state. In the state of imbalance due to excess of energy a lepton, the female life cell is formed. When the female life cell develops its body through life energy, the cell needs mind or protons to balance in its state of bliss due to the excess of energy a lepton. The male life cell is formed by the mind. Therefore, to come into a state of equilibrium, the female cell is naturally attracted towards the male cell. When the seed is made by the soul in the female life cell, the female creature remains in an imbalanced state of its bliss due to its mind being focused on energy. Basically, all beings try to get energy to get their bliss in some form or the other. Because of this basic feeling of bliss and the focus of the mind of the female creature on energy, the life cell keeps attracting energy life entity. Due to lack of focus on the soul, additional seeds are not formed. Instead, due to the excess of energy, the work of producing the fruit of the seed is done. Due to the focus of the mind on energy, seeds are made by the soul in a fixed amount according to their menstruation period. Due to the energy being received by the female creature, there is internal physical preparation for the upbringing of the potential embryo to be formed from that seed. During this time, if fertilization occurs from the male seed, then new life begins in the form of a fetus. If fertilization does not take place, the energy cells collected for the upbringing of the fetus become unusable and exit the body according to the menstrual cycle. Then in the new menstrual cycle, the same amount of seeds are made again by the soul. Thus in the female body, female seeds with energy-focused X chromosomes are formed in certain amounts according to their menstrual cycle. According to this gender difference process of nature, a certain amount of seeds are produced in the female body. The character of energy is Eko Ham Bahushya Maha, which means, I am one, let be many, as omnipotent. Due to this quality, female beings continue to attract energy. Due to the mind's focus on the energy life entity in female beings, women are comparatively more wealth conscious. For this reason, it is often said that a woman's hand is behind the success of a man, because a man becomes more active for his success due to the wealth conscious of his female life partner. This is a fact of common sense, that where there is an abundance of energy, more beauty naturally appears. In the atom, the leptons revolve outside its nucleus and the weight of the leptons is much less than its proton. In this process of becoming atom from atom energy, a lepton forms the body of a female creature. Due to these qualities of energy, a lepton life entity, females are comparatively beautiful and lightweight. Since the leptons in an atom revolve outside its center, it is easier to see the leptons around the outside. That's why women are able to do multitasking work comparatively easily, that is, women's eyes are on many tasks at the same time. Due to this quality of leptons or energy, most of the women are talkative in nature, because they have information about many subjects due to having eyes on many things at the same time. The combined nature of all the forces in the boson of the atom is emotional, and the boson eventually interacts with the leptons, so women have more emotional energy. In an atom, neutron and lepton rotate anticlockwise and protons rotate clockwise. Protons make men and leptons make women. Due to this opposite rotating nature of protons and leptons, most of the habits of men and women are of opposite nature. But the atom remains balanced only by the mutual energy interactions of protons and leptons. That is why the relationship of husband and wife creates a natural balance in life, and while other illicit relationships or sensual thoughts create imbalance in life. In this way, the life journey of life energy comes from the black hole to the seed. A black hole is the seed of a galaxy. In some scientific discoveries, it is also being speculated that there is a white hole inside the black hole. Kashirsagar and Kundli are mentioned in spiritual texts as the abode of God. Kashirsagar means the ocean of milk, and milk is white. That is, white hole and Kashirsagar are one and the same. The DNA spiral of the seed is mentioned in the spiritual texts in the form of Kundali. The black hole is the replica of our seed. The only difference is that the seed contains both life energy and matter, and black hole only life energy. However, the matter of the seed is created from the virtual atom made from this life energy. This life energy is the formless form of God, which works in the form of a singularity of bliss, soul, mind and energy inside the seed. The divine formless life energy of the black hole gives birth to the life of plants, creatures and humans in the form of seeds. The program of working of life energy is written in the DNA of the seed. In the four life entities of life energy, bliss, soul, mind and energy, the mind in the form of ram takes the resolution of the fruit with the inspiration of bliss. Then with the help of the soul makes a program in the form of a seed to get that fruit. Then the mind attracts unlimited cosmic energy or dark energy by contacting the cosmic mind or dark matter through the limited energy located in its seed to make fruit according to the DNA program. We will further understand the working of seed DNA with the help of the brain. Here it is interesting and thrilling to understand God's plan to materialize matter and life in the universe. Bliss, soul, mind and energy life entity are invisible entities, and their equivalent nitrogen, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen life elements are visible matter. These visible elements may have different properties, but all elements are made up of boson, neutron, proton and lepton. Although all these subatomic particles are invisible, they are the basic unit of visible matter, which are seen and understood only by scientific instruments. These subatomic particles are in both dormant and manifest states. In the dormant state resides as the four fundamental forces of the universe, and in the manifested state as the subatomic particle of the atom. These four fundamental forces are present in every place of the universe in the form of divine consciousness. There is communication between the invisible life entities and the visible life elements at the level of the subatomic particles, which are in both visible and invisible state. Just as the four life entities of the life energy have all the four life entities, but they act only according to their character, similarly the four types of life elements have all four types of subatomic particles, but they act according to their nature. Ultimately, life comes true only when software like life energy is installed in the hardware of matter. All living beings and human beings feel the four life entities of the divine life energy singularity. The order of communication between God and creatures is as follows. God, a black hole singularity, then the four life entities of the invisible life energy, then the four fundamental forces of the invisible consciousness, then the seed, then the four subatomic particles of the visible life elements, then the body made up of the visible four life elements, and then the life energy in the living beings of the same four life entities. Thus the seed acts as a gateway between the divine life energy and the human life energy. Just as the SIM card acts as a gateway between the mobile and the network, in the same way, between the body of the living beings and the life energy of the universe, their seed acts like a SIM card. The seed which we humans have considered insignificant, matter of that seed was formed 13.8 billion years ago, at the time of Big Bang. Then the formation of DNA of the seed started from the same matter 4.3 billion years ago, at the time of the origin of life on Earth. After that, generation after generation, new life has come into existence from the same seed. Whatever has been learned and understood by each generation of the past 4.3 billion years, that has been inscribed in the DNA of the seed in the form of genetic code. First of all, the atoms of the life elements that make up the seed are themselves conscious substances made of life energy. The formula for the formation of an atom from life energy is inscribed in the neutrons of the atoms. Then after the transformation of atom into atom, the experience and evolution process of all previous births is inscribed in our seeds in the form of DNA. Therefore, in the seed's DNA, the entire formula to contact with the dark matter and dark energy of the divine life energy is inscribed. The red spiral of DNA is our soul, which makes programs according to our dreams of bliss. The blue spiral of DNA is our mind, which attracts energy resources from the universe according to the soul's program for our bliss. Please don't think that our seeds are insignificant. The four genetic codes of DNA of our seed is a tool or formula to get immense resources from cosmic bliss, soul, mind and energy for our personal dreams and desires, which has evolved with experience of 4.3 billion years. Our seeds give us what we want. As the universe continues to evolve, the cosmic life energy itself evolves the new generations to come on the basis of their previous experiences. First of all, the living beings originated in the waters of rivers and seas, then gradually the creatures walking on the earth and then flying in the sky evolved. Similarly, in ancient times, creatures like dinosaurs and humans like primitive humans were of huge size. But according to the progressive evolution process of life and the needs of the time, the DNA of the seed changes. Today we humans are in the convenient shape of our present times. In the next generation from the parent's seed, the number of genetic codes of their DNA doubles and its DNA changes based on the creature's prior experiences. Thus the next generation always becomes more advanced and smart than the previous generation. Thus the DNA of our seed contains all the experiences of all generations of 4.3 billion years. Whatever humans think from the mind of their seed, they get it from the universe through the mysteries of the subatomic particles and the experience of billions of years of DNA. That's why we just need to save the seed to fulfill our desired dreams. The working process of seed's DNA with the help of the brain is further explained. Mind life entity remains inside of our seed, so we think with the seed-like mind. Whatever we think, it is written in the DNA of the seed, and the seed attracts or repels the same type of energy resource. This attraction and repulsion of energy resources occurs according to the thinking of our mind. The seed acts as a singularity. When the seed in the body is saved by the thoughts of the mind, the seed attracts energy resources from the universe, but when the seed is destroyed for transient pleasure by the thoughts of the mind, the seed repels out humans' own energy resources in the universe. When energy resources are attracted from the universe, health and wealth are obtained, and when energy resources are repelled in the universe, disease and poverty come. Since atom is formed from atom, the rules of atom particles apply to atom as well. This opposite process of attraction or repulsion by atom is just like the opposite process of gravity or radiation of an atom. If the neutrons of the atom are destroyed, then the entire atom is destroyed by unbalanced protons and leptons. From this neutron the DNA of the seed is formed, and at the body level the DNA of the seed acts like the soul or neutron, which keeps the mind or protons and energy or leptons in a state of equilibrium. If the seed or soul is destroyed, then the mind and energy of humans also become unstable, and the life of humans also gets destroyed like an atom. Due to the activation of bliss in atom or seed, the mind also becomes active. Due to this activity of the mind, atom becomes unbalanced. On the basis of this imbalance, impotent, asexual, male and female organisms are born. As we have seen, the excess of mind produces male seed, which needs energy for balance. On the contrary, female seed is formed due to excess energy, which needs the mind for balance. It is because of this imbalance that male and female living beings are attracted to each other and experience bliss in the balanced state of mind and energy through the exchange of seeds. On the basis of this balance, the process of life is going on continuously in nature due to the union of male and female creatures. Many types of elements and matter are formed from many types of combinations of atoms. Then atom or seed is formed from the atom itself. Similar to the atom, the many types of emotional energy of bliss life entity in the atom produces many different types of atoms or seeds with different types of emotional bliss. Various types of plants, animals and human beings are born from these different types of emotional bliss of atom or seed. Thus all forms of matter and life are created from the divine life energy of the black hole. Both atom and atom work on the same principle of singularity. Just as fruit is formed from seeds in plants, similarly human beings also get fruits of success from seeds. There are 400,000 types of plant species in the world. In the context of plants, the state of mind in their seed is red only. In plants, the mind-life entity concentrates only on the bliss-life entity, so the DNA is not changed by their soul-life entity. That's why they go on making only one type of fruit from their seeds. All 400,000 types of plants save their seeds to get fruits. That is, the seed does not fall from the tree until the fruit ripens. In this way, plants get fruit wealth from their seeds. It is worth noting that not all plants apparently do any work. But through divine life energy, they keep getting fruitful wealth throughout their life. Even the farmer gets physical wealth only through the fruits and grains of the plants. In this way, all the plants successfully do the work of service to other beings or world welfare by getting fruits through save seed. There are 8,400,000 types of creature species in the world. In the context of creatures, the state of mind in their seed is right ones. In beings, the mind-life entity concentrates on their soul-life entity, and due to the state of mind being right ones, the DNA is changed only once by their soul-life entity. So they live their life in the same way. All the 8,400,000 types of creature always save their seeds except for reproduction. That is, they do not destroy their seeds in any unnatural way. In this way, creatures get health and food, etc., from their seeds for life. It is worth noting that all living beings do not even worry about the evening meal after the morning meal. But through the divine life energy, they keep getting enough food for life. In this way, all beings successfully do the work of self-service or self-welfare by getting health and food through save seed. There is only one species of humans in the world. In the context of human beings, their state of mind is red right, that is, they constantly think both good and bad with their mind. In human beings, the mind-life entity concentrates on its mind-life entity itself, and due to the read-write state of the mind, the DNA undergoes frequent changes through its soul-life entity. All human thoughts are encoded 24/7 in the seed's DNA. Then on the basis of the same DNA, the seed makes its fruit through the cosmic life energy. Due to the illusion of considering the brain as the mind, human beings have considered their seed to be insignificant. Mind-life entity, due to its fickleness and negative inspiration of bliss-life entity, starts focusing on its own energy-life entity, which increases the feeling of lust desire. For this reason, most human beings often destroy their seeds in an unnatural way in order to balance their mind and energy. This does not give the expected result according to the thoughts written in their mind or seed's DNA. On the contrary, they live life in disease and poverty due to repulsion of their own energy resources in the universe. There is a tradition of marriage in the social environment of human beings. But in the disorientation of glamour and sexuality, marital norms are often not followed even before and after marriage. Since in nature a male being is born from the mind-life entity and a female being from the energy-life entity, therefore the relationship of husband and wife is a natural process. There is a natural balance of mind and energy in the relationship with the spouse. Therefore, during the relationship with the spouse, save seed is followed naturally. If humans, like other plants and creatures, save their seeds by limiting the relationship with their spouse only, then they get the desired success in life through the cosmic life energy. In the next slide, we will see the symmetry of the bliss, soul, mind and energy life entities of the singularity life energy which work in a similar pattern from the black holes up to the modern computers.